You're listening to Pure Indulgence here on Radio Dentata with your host, Sascha Illyvich.
Hi, and welcome to an extremely loud edition of Pure Indulgence. I'm your host, Sascha Illyvich, and I'm here today with Max Myers of ACC Holdings, who also produces Don Cervantes Cigars. We're at the Occidental Cigar Club in San Francisco. Beautiful weather outside, been a great day. How's your stay been in the States, first of all?
Oh, good. I've been meeting a lot of people, meeting a lot of other cigar brands, and the guys blending those cigars and going to a lot of events. It's been a very educational trip.
Awesome. So you're with ACC Holdings, which produces a Don Cervantes cigar, and before I ask you about that, I got to tell you honestly, the Masterpiece Platinum is kicking my palate's ass. It's wonderful. I've got coffee, I've got dark cocoa, I've got cinnamon, many hints of it, but they're there. It's very, very flavorful. Is this a Maduro?
Yes, this is a single Maduro.
Okay, compared to the Trace Maduro, which you guys have out, which is a triple Maduro.
Yeah. The triple Maduro, we use both Maduro wrapper, Maduro binder, and some Maduro in the filler mixed with a few other breeds of tobacco.
All right, very good. So our listeners know that I'm an aficionado of taking the good life and making it your life. So tell us, how does Don Cervantes fit into that mold?
Don Cervantes is an old school classic brand, actually was called Cervantes back in the late 1800s. And Don Cervantes now is one of the dominant brands in the luxury markets worldwide. In the United States, we haven't sold it yet, and we're just preparing to launch it.
From what I've tasted so far, it's an exquisite brand for those who've got a taste palate. If you're a fan of Davidoff, would that be a comparable cigar?
I think the difference between us and Davidoff might lie in the blending and the origin of the tobaccos. We have quite a variety of tobaccos that we grow on our farm in Ecuador, and with all of those varieties, we have quite a large palette of tastes that we can mix together. What I do appreciate a lot about Davidoff is their construction quality is fantastic. It's superb, and their packaging is very clean and very elegant. And we've brought this beautiful packaging and beautiful accessories together with our unique blends and unique tobacco origins in order to bring what we believe is the best of both worlds.
You've definitely got a very unique product line. How did you guys come up with that to begin with?
Well, we started years ago distributing cigars, and then after that we moved into private labeling. When we realized we really needed tight controls due to a lot of lack of control from being in the private label business, we invested in the farm that is producing Don Cervantes now. We invested in this farm and factory so that we can grow what we want, control what we want, get all the blends the way we want, and never have to worry about somebody running out of tobacco and things like that we might want to use. And since then we have been very rigid in our quality standards, and we roll all of our cigars entubado with triple ring caps. The cigars, after you burn them down, can stand on their own ash, and we have a lot of photos that are emailed from our clients showing that. And again, for me, the most important thing is the taste, aside from just the construction standards that we employ. But the taste is a unique combination of very, very long fermentation times and a lot of unique tobacco breeds that most people don't have. Not just saying they don't have it, but it seems to me that a lot of cigar brands are limited in how many different kind of breeds of tobacco they're able to use, and I think we've been able to overcome that because we grow whatever we want to grow on our own farm. We have about 20 hectares, and we can divide the farm up to grow whatever kind of tobaccos we feel that we're going to need down the road.
I've noticed when you were showing me pictures earlier, you've got some very, very beautiful plants, first of all. Second of all, my question to you is, when it comes to workers, tell me about an average day for the workers?
Well, workers on the farm would, start, of course, in the morning. We only grow 3 months a year. We rest the soil for the other 9 months of the year. So our busiest time would be actually around this time of year right now is when we're getting close to harvest and all the tobacco's out on the field, and we have to start cutting from the bottom of the plant all the way up. We have to hang them in the drying barns, and we have to move them from the drying barns into the fermentation barns and stack them in the pilones. And that is a very, very labor-intensive process that we have a lot of workers on the field during that time. But these kind of workers move around, and so when we're not using them, they'll leave and they'll go to a banana plantation somewhere else or a cocoa plantation somewhere else, because they have the ability to move around and get jobs wherever they need to. Now we trim down our staff at other times in the year when we're simply resting the soil and we're managing fermentation and aging down on the farm. Then we have a lot less people to oversee the farm operations. In the factory, we have about 25 rollers and we have about 10 leaf sorters. So the leaf sorters are the ones who take all of the leaf from the farm and they sort it by breed, by cut off of the plant, by year, because not all of it ends up in the factory right away. We put it into aging bales and aging crates for years before we use it. So in the factory itself is where we do all the leaf sorting. Then we will sort leaf by all the different varieties that we need to blend the cigars coming up for that week. And the leaf sorters sort based on quality, based on filler, wrapper. They separate it, they destem it, things like that. Then the rollers, of course, roll all of our tobaccos into the different brands that we produce in our factory.
So I'd suggest, or I guess by what you've told me so far and what we talked about last night, you take a very active role in your processes.
Yeah, we had to take a very active role because it's important that our clients get the product that they're expecting to get. For example, if you go buy a Mercedes from a Mercedes dealer, if you buy an E-Class Mercedes today, or you buy an E-Class Mercedes 6 months from now in a completely different country, it has to be the same thing. And unfortunately, I'm not saying I know any specific brands that have this problem, but if we don't maintain this kind of rigid oversight, we can very easily end up with different tobaccos mixed into the cigars that are not consistent with our actual blend. Our blends are very important because they have a very specific taste profile that is targeted at a specific kind of a smoker. So in Don Cervantes, as you know, we have Masterpiece Blue, Masterpiece Gold, Masterpiece Platinum, Tres Maduros, and Presidente. Those are very specific blends that have a very different taste profile. From my experience, I've seen a lot of brands where one cigar to the other, within the brand, a version 1 and a version 2, or a green label, red label, whatever they happen to call it for that brand, they taste kind of the same. So we have spent most of my time has been sitting in the factory trying to create dramatically different tastes that are not just different for the sake of being different, but different to reach a goal in my mind of what different people want to taste. We have very earthy, creamy blends. We have very rich Maduro blends. We have rich and spicy Maduro blends. We have very earthy Cubanish tasting blends, and this is all due to the blending and the very careful attention to detail that we put into the blends and maintaining those blends over time.